Hey guys, welcome back to Guns America, and today we are going to be talking about the all-new 2024 Kawasaki MULE Pro 1000 series side-by-sides. Last week I was able to spend a couple days out in Fort Worth with Team Kawasaki testing out these new vehicles, and let me tell you, they surely impressed. So if you're in the market for something new, stay tuned, and I'm going to go over what's new for 2024, what I liked about the Kawasaki MULE, what I didn't like, and who should buy this. So what's new for 2024 on the Kawasaki Mules? Well, to start out, they've got a new 999cc parallel twin liquid-cooled 4-stroke engine. This one's producing 49% more horsepower over last year's model and delivers 30% more top speed, reaching up to 65 miles per hour. It's mated with a CVT transmission. There are no gears. It's just hit the gas, go, and it's a smooth power delivery through all RPMs, and it's a great ride. Also new for 2024 is improved access to the regular maintenance items. They've moved the air filter box and completely redesigned it, so now it's easier for you to access. It doesn't get dirty nearly as fast, and they've extended the service life from 50 hours all the way up to 200. They've also moved your oil filter and the oil dipstick for easier access, and they've also included an oil filter catch pan so that when you're changing that filter, none of the oil gets all over your engine and gets anything dirty in there. Both the front and rear suspension gets an upgrade for this year. You get 11 inches in the front of travel, and you get 10.1 inches in the rear. Then you get 10.2 inches of standard ground clearance. Now they also have preload adjustments in the front and back, and if you set that preload up, you can get up to 13.2 inches of ground clearance on certain models. Now for reference, that's like driving over a 2-liter Coke bottle and not hitting anything, so that's pretty impressive. The rear suspension on certain models is self-leveling, so this is an internal mechanical valving in the suspension that allows for payloads to self-level after riding around. So if you're like me and you've been out the ranch before and put in 1,000 pounds of deer corn to go fill up your feeders, you know that back is sagging down pretty hard. So as soon as you take off and hit a few bumps, that rear is going to automatically level itself and you're no longer going to sag. And it's going to stay in that position until you unload your payload. For the interior updates, we get some additional cup holders. You get an under-seat storage bin, and you get front and rear DC sockets to power any accessories on certain models. If you have the Platinum Edition, then you also get an additional under-storage seat, and it also includes a switch for the winch mechanism in the front. Underneath the hood, they've included a terminal block for all of your accessories. In previous models, you had to purchase this, but now they've included it from the factory, and they've installed a conduit running from the front to the back for you to install any wires for accessories for a corn spreader or a winch or something else you want to throw on there. They've made it real easy for you to keep the wiring clean and just add it right there under the hood. They've added a new radiator heat shield, which directs the heat down and away from the cabin. This was a big improvement that I've seen over the previous generation that we actually have out at our deer lease. It gets super hot underneath the seat, but with the new heat shield and the redesign of their muffler, that's now a dual wall muffler, you don't get any of that heat rising up out of the seat. We were riding around in about 100+ degree weather outside Fort Worth, and it was not uncomfortable at all. We spent at least 2 hours riding around trails, doing work on the farm, simulating work on the farm, and it was comfortable the entire time. They've also made some exterior styling improvements. All models now come featured with the quad front headlights, and they have the steel tubular front bumpers. Certain models do come with a rear tubular bumper, and then the Platinum Ranch Edition has a full steel brush guard that just looks excellent. One of the other really popular features about the Kawasaki MULE, and one of my favorites, is the fact that you can go from a 3-passenger vehicle to a 6-passenger vehicle with their trans cab system in under a minute. All it is lifting a few levers, pushing out the headache rack into the cab, and then boom, you've got yourself a 3-person vehicle. Or if you're hauling more people, do the opposite and you've got 6 people and you're ready to haul. In the 3-person configuration, you can haul up to 1,000 pounds and tow up to 2,200 pounds with the Mule 1000 series. If you're in the 6-passenger configuration, you can only haul 350 pounds, so keep that in mind. The Kawasaki Mule features an 8-gallon fuel tank, and while Kawasaki doesn't really disclose any sort of range estimates based on your use and what you're doing, it could be better or worse, but based on my estimation, you could easily get 110 to 150 miles out of a single tank, and running around on the ranch or out on the trails, that's a long way. There's been times when we've been using our Mule at the lease and we don't see the gas gauge move all weekend, and it's just keeps on going. It sips the gas and it's very fuel efficient. So, ride impression. So when we were at the Wildcatter Ranch, we were able to put the 1000s through several different obstacles, uphill, downhill, simulating ranch work, and it didn't struggle through anything. We were able to go down some pretty steep inclines where I was able to put the Mule into low gear and let the engine braking do its thing. I was really impressed with the engine braking. I could just go straight down a steep hill and without touching the brakes, and just let the machine do the work, and it was very smooth. And that's probably my favorite thing about this new series is the suspension setup. On the Kawasaki Mule that I had at the lease, we installed a high lifter kit to give us 2 more additional inches of ground clearance and suspension travel. Now, from the factory, you're basically getting that with these new 1000s. So we were able to take down some washboards, go over rocky hills and terrain, and not be tossed around in the cab. It was extremely comfortable. I think Kawasaki is known for having just some of the better suspension setups from the factory, and it's very evident with the Mule. And to have that flexibility of adjusting the preload even further is just, better options for the customer, and allows you to even stretch that ground clearance further if you're constantly running around with higher payloads. One thing I forgot to mention was the updated EPS electronic power steering system for the new 2024 Mules. It is now speed sensitive, so that when you're cruising around at low speeds, the steering is extremely easy, and when you're traveling at higher speeds, it firms up and feels like you're driving a little bit more like you are on the highway. So it's a tighter turning radius, and lets you feel like you're in control of the vehicle the whole time. Okay, so what did I love about the new Kawasaki Mule? First of all, they have an industry-leading 36-month warranty. So anything goes wrong within that first 3-year period, Kawasaki's going to take care of you, assuming you didn't drive through a river or do something that you weren't supposed to do. My favorite feature is the 3 to 6 passenger trans cab conversion Kawasaki is famous for. It's just really nice to be able to have that versatility to run around recreationally with the family with 6 seats, or if you're doing work on the ranch, break it down into 3 seats, and so that you have that extra payload capacity and more room to throw a pallet in the back and go haul stuff around. The smooth suspension, increased ride height and travel is very noticeable and a much welcome change. It allows you to really make this a full recreational use vehicle as well as utility. So with that being said, I wouldn't hesitate tackling trails with this or going to the ranch for a weekend. Now, would I take this on the dunes in the desert and go rock crawling in Arizona and Moab? Probably not, but for 95% of everything I do, this will do more than what I need. So what didn't I like about the Kawasaki Mule? Well, for one, I wasn't a huge fan of the styling overall. It is a little bit dated compared to other manufacturers on the market. I wish it was a little bit more aggressive, but for running around on the farm, and, taking out to the trails on the weekend, I would not be embarrassed by any means to ride around in the new Kawasaki Mule. It's just super comfortable, and again, that's just a minor nitpick. I wish it had better contoured seats. Now, this is an upgraded option that's available from Kawasaki as an additional accessory. The Ranch editions do have contoured seats from the factory, but I wish they were bolstered just a little bit more, providing that a little bit more premium feel than what they currently offer. So let's talk about price point here. If you're in the market, you know that these things are extremely expensive. And one of my favorite things about these mules is that they are budget friendly while delivering a lot of features and a very quality machine. So starting at the bottom base model for the 1000 FXR 3-seat base package, you're looking at $16,599, all the way up to $23,399 for the Platinum Ranch Edition. Now with that Platinum Ranch Edition, you're getting the integrated winch, full leather upgraded seats, leather handrail in the back. You get some extra contoured seats in the front, and the rims are a little bit different, plus a painted special edition body. So if that's their thing, then definitely go that way. But that being said, $23,399 for the top of the line model is still well below competition that don't have the same features. Who is this for? Starting out with the FXR as their cheapest. The FXR is a 3-seat model for their recreational use. It still has the 1,000-pound capacity in the bed, 2,000-pound towing capacity. It just doesn't have a roof and some other features that the higher-end models do. So if you're looking for some light recreational use, light utility work, it's just you, maybe the wife, Pro FXR, definitely the way that I would go. If you're looking for something to run around the deer lease with, if you have a bigger family, or if you're looking to do a little bit more, then I would suggest the Pro FXT, which is the 6-passenger model. And you know, for the price, the Platinum Edition definitely is an insane value. $23,399 fully loaded. It's hard to beat that price on the market, and if I had the Ranch, that's the one that I would get. So tell us if you like this video, like, subscribe to all notifications on Guns America. If you have a mule, tell us what you think about it, or if you're on the fence, ask us some questions, and we'll get back to you in the comments. Thanks.